Hamas advocates for Barack Hussein Obama, and every terror Muslim organization advocates for Barack Hussein Obama. Why would Americans want to vote in somebody who is loved by the terrorists? And these stupid liberals say, well, you know, at least the Arab world loves him. He could probably negotiate and sit down with Ahmadinejad and so on and so forth. We have
negotiate for what?
Huh? Yeah.
And cut our throat.
That's right. Appeasement. Who said that? Was it true? Appeasing the alligator is feeding the alligator, you know, hoping that he eats you last. Introduce himself in the Senate to become a senator, to be elected, and to advance in the political arena. Now, as a Muslim, he's got no chance. He has to join a church. But will he join your church and my church? No way. He must join a church that is accepted as righteous Christians from an Islamic perspective. In other words, the Muslims would view Pastor Wright as a real true Christian because in reality he's a Muslim. You see? So
is that how they do that?
That's how they view it. In the Muslim view, there are Christians who are true Christians and who will go to heaven, but they're the original Christians who don't believe what the evangelical Christians believe. So they segregate the Christian world. So him being that kind of a Christian will be fine and dandy with them. You see? So he must join that kind of movement so he can lure the American audience to think that he is really an evangelical Christian when he's not. You know? He is a revolutionary Christian. He is a liberation theology kind of Christian. So, and then his testimony, you know, there is no testimony. And him criticizing the book of Leviticus openly, you can just put in Google, on YouTube, Obama, the book of Leviticus, and his criticizing the Bible, and you can see him openly criticizing the Bible. A man that recites the call to the prayer eloquently in the classical Arabic language, and goes to a church like this for 20-some years, and Louis Farrakhan, for Pete's sake, Louis Farrakhan, a Muslim, hailed him as the Messiah, hailed Barack Obama as Messiah. When the Messiah speaks, his own words, when the Messiah speaks, he says, the youth should listen, and the Muslim youth should listen when Barack Hussein Obama, the Messiah, speaks. So in other words, there's a whole group here is waiting for this man to cause a revolution here in America. Of course, he has to come clean from all this stuff, denounce Farrakhan and all these things. Yet his associations, Pastor Wright's associations with Farrakhan while Obama was a member of that church is very clear, you know?
If he was really if he had been a Muslim and now he's a true Christian, he would be then like the same boat you are, where your life is under threat all the time.
That's right. A convert from Islam is to be killed. The Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, said, whoever leaves the faith of Islam, kill him. Now, what part of kill do you Westerners not understand? It's kill. We don't have any allegoric interpretation in the Quran or the Hadith. Now, who is advocating for the killing of Barack Hussein Obama from the Muslim world?
Not too many. Then
all of them are supporting him. Hamas loves him. The Muslims love him all over the globe.
Well, what difference does it make? What difference does it make what the guy's religion is, as long as he provides health care and everything, or runs the country? You
know what? I could probably put up with a Mormon, you know, who becomes president, even though I think Mormonism is satanic. I don't like Mormonism, but you don't find today Mormonism with the law. This is the difference between, let's say, Jehovah's Witnesses or Mormons, which we as Christians consider cults. Of course, as Christian evangelicals, we are commanded to consider Islam as a cult. Anything else besides what we believe in is a cult. This is our freedom of speech and religion as well. But the problem with Islam is that Islam is not a religion. Islam is a constitution. So when Keith Ellison swears on the Quran, he is swearing on his constitution, which is not your constitution. It is Islamic Sharia code, Islamic Sharia law. Now, we're not talking theory here. We're talking actual implementation of such laws in Great Britain. Today, as we speak, Great Britain has Islamic Sharia legal courts which Muslims can go to and have their arbitration done on an Islamic Sharia court setting. Islam is Sharia code. It is Islamic civil code, legal code, punishment laws, amputation of hands if you steal, stoning of adulteress.
Like it just came out yesterday that a father who they said killed his 2 daughters.
In Texas.
Yeah. But yet now they're believing it was Sharia law.
It was what?
Islamic law.
Of course, he carried out his Islamic duty.
But if I did that in England, are you saying I would not be?
Well, I don't think the extent of the Islamic Sharia courts is extending to that
part yet.
That part yet. But remember,
it will come.
It starts by marriage, divorce, inheritance laws. Can you imagine? I mean, we have to have American inheritance laws or marriage laws. If that becomes obsolete, you can go to a Mormon legal court. I mean, that doesn't exist. There's American court. There's the law of the land. And we have to abide with the law of the land. A Muslim can go to an Islamic Sharia court and have his marriage, divorces, and inheritance laws, all that carried out. That is creating England to be separated into 2 legal systems. See? Now all of a sudden one legal system must take over the other. You can't have 2 legal systems.
Because that's the Constitution of them.
That's right.
Did Obama, was he sworn in on a Quran when he became a senator?
No, we don't have evidence of him being sworn on the Quran. I think that's possibly exaggerations by conservatives. Now remember, the conservatives do make mistakes too. We must point out these mistakes. I don't think that he was sworn in by the Quran. Keith Ellison, however, openly swore in on the Quran. And the excuse was, well, the Quran, it was President Jefferson's Quran. Since Jefferson had a Quran, then I guess it's okay to swear in the Quran. But Jefferson was studying the Quran so he can understand the mentality of his enemy, because he was fighting the Islamic, piracy issues and the issues from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, creating a Marine Corps, a Navy, to go and fight the Islamic
Barbary Coast pirates.
That's right.
Kind of like what's going on in Somalia today.
That's right. Islam mandates that Christians pay the jizya taxation. And when they want to try to reason with the Muslims, they said, we were mandated by the Quran to extract taxes from you. Because you are Christians. Americans had to pay. Did you know that Americans at that time, most of the taxes, a big chunk of American taxes, had to go to pay off the Muslims?
No, I didn't know that.
It's a fact. It's in my book, Why We Want to Kill You. Most of the taxes had to go to pay. American taxes were paid, majority of these taxes were paid to appease the Muslims, to allow you to use the Mediterranean, to allow you to use your ships. And finally, America had to say no more. And they eliminated that tax. That tax was jizya tax. America paid jizya, Islamic taxation, to the Muslims. It's in the history of America. Nobody can deny it.
Back to what Jeff was saying, I think we need to make that very clear. That, how did you say it? What difference does it make? I'm going to get a better standard of living, even if I vote for a man who's promising me better hospitalization, all these other things.
Well, that's just a small part, because I was going to next ask you about what do you think about how the election is going in general? For example, it becomes apparent, at least to the casual observer, that they're making it about race. Even if it's not about race, it's becoming a thing about race. You see Republicans portrayed, because apparently some white extremist or something showed up at a McCain or Palin rally or something, and now they're painting all supporters of McCain and Palin as KKK, basically, is essentially what they're doing. And yet, if you look at the other side,
good defense.
Fox News had a thing on TV. They did not air the T-shirts, because the T-shirts are incredibly vulgar. But on the other side of the issue, the supporters of Obama, the Democrats, and I'm guilty of saying all Democrats are this way, but it's not, maybe not, but a whole lot of Obama supporters in particular are very rabid in their support, and they tolerate nobody who has an opposing view. It's kind of like 180 degrees around. If you support McCain, you're totally evil. Have you noticed that? Have you?
Although, of course, it's all over the media. Although the discrimination against Palin and the hatred of Palin in the media really is 10 times more than these issues that bring about Obama. Mm-hmm. There is 10 times more making fun of and picking on me and on Palin and really saying all kinds of wrong things about her.
Total character assassination.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is that because she believes she doesn't believe in abortion? Where does Obama stand on abortion?
He's for partial birth abortion. He voted for that in the Senate.
Of course, because
one of the few things he actually did vote not present on. Or that
there's nothing better that Islamists want to do than have Americans kill their own children. Mm-hmm. So it's not a problem for him, you know, even